I've got a piece of Bradford pear. It's around just under 50 millimeters in diameter, just under 2 inches. And my length is 60 millimeters, or 2 3/8. So this shoulder is going to be the end of my egg. So that's kind of generally, I don't have a formula like Alan Stratton or as Steve said. I just kind of make it a little bit longer, maybe 20%, 30% longer, somewhere in there than it is in diameter. And then for the wide part, I want that kind of hemispherical in this side. So whatever this diameter is, I want this to be half of that. So so this is about 2 inches. This is about 1 inch. It might be a little less than that by the time I finish. But that's generally where I go to start with. What that'll get me is kind of a typical sort of chicken-looking egg, kind of like that shape. I do tend to like the longer eggs like this, which is a bit more design-oriented for certain projects. Maybe something like this guy. So these are kind of longish eggs, and there's 1 egg, 2 egg, and then the 3rd egg here. This is really quite a long stretched out egg that I split in half. So so there's so many varieties of eggs that you really can't go wrong. So we'll spin this up. I got a little 40/40 gouge, Carter and Sons, 1/2 inch bowl gouge that I've ground to 40/40. And I'm just progressively moving back. Let me highlight that line there for you so you can see it a bit better. That, or about there, is where my maximum radius is going to be. So I'm just kind of removing the waste out of the way and doing some rough cutting with this bowl gouge. I'm going to move the rest around now so I can get a little bit closer. And I'm a little high for this gouge. And Bradford pear is kind of nice because it's very easy to turn. I prepped this blank from a piece of wood like this, and when I got it on the lathe and the chuck, I took a little bit off so I can get rid of that hole, that tailstock hole. Cindy was talking about having torn out grain at the very tip, which certainly can happen. And one of the things I noticed in practicing is I had my tailstock point. So she stopped there. I'm going to stop there and switch to a smaller gouge. And just take that end off. And the rest of that should sand up. I'm going to stop and see if I got any holes there. No hole, but not a very clean cut yet, so that's good. Good and bad, so we'll go back and clean that up. That's pretty good to sand from there on down. I've got a little rough up here, so I'm going to take this little gouge now, which is a 1/2 inch low profile gouge from Carter & Son. They don't really make this tool anymore, unfortunately, but I'm going to see if I can't find a replacement for it somewhere, because I just happen to fall in love with this little tool. So now from this line back, we will dig in. I'm going to get a pointier 1/2 inch gouge just to kind of get around that corner a little bit, waste some wood away. And get some material out of the way. Now we'll kind of, I'm seeing this is very too fat up here, so I'm going to actually skinny this down a little bit. Turning eggs like this is really a good exercise in training your eye on shape. I took a class years ago with Don Derry. His mantra was just turn away the high spots. So if I look at this egg, I see a high spot here. I see one there. I see one there. So those are the high spots I'm going to attack. Get behind the high spot and just cut through it. Blend it in. And blend it in. Now I got one right here. You might chase them a little bit, but once you kind of get a nice smooth cut, and how am I doing on time, Cindy? Lyle? All right. All right, so let's move the tools out a little bit. Stop this. We are going to quickly change over to a jam chuck and see if we can't get this jammed. This is a race. This is my practice for Sunday. So everybody come prepared Sunday to be able to turn an egg in the time allotted. I have my jam chuck already mounted on another chuck. Let's see how well it fits. I need to take some more out. 3 minutes. All right, tools were flying. Yeah, this is a race, that's for sure. All right. Let the tool rest out of the way. Center this up with the tailstock. Lock that tailstock down. There we go. Back to my little tool. And the one thing I missed on the other front side was sanding, and I had my sanding pads with Steve's sandpaper on already ready to go. Oh, sorry, Steve, I missed the boat on that one. A little high spot up there. And one last finishing cut. Now, can we get it out? No, we have to take it off the chuck. And I remembered this time to put a hole in it. So we grab a little piece of dowel and knock it out. All right, there we go. Not bad for not sanding. Nice little chicken egg. So this is going to be excellent. This will be a great egg since I didn't sand. If I got half a minute left, right? I load up my texturing tool, which is really my section of my modular handle, and we just turn that on and turn the speed down. And we add some rabbit fur. A little bit more speed will make that a little easier. Oops, there we go. That's one of the reasons why I put a garbage can down there. Catch those things. So there you go. I think my time is just about there. But that is a little bunny body. So that's how I did that texture on there. And my pointier eggs, it's a little flat on top. Maybe that's the texture. There we go. It's not bad. There you go. So that's my process for turning an egg. A little too quick for my liking, but I know now that I can do it in 10 minutes. So